Who's someone that, was kind of an inspiration for you to get into the junk removal industry?
So the two biggest people that I followed that actually gave me the advice in the beginning to really get me motivated to do the junk removal business was Matt and JoJo and Steve Conroy. Steve Conroy hasn't posted in like a year or two though. I don't know what he's doing, but he's been like MIA. And I love Steezy because he was a young kid. And then I followed Ricardo. Ricardo's very controversial, but he's an animated character, and I love that Ricardo's out there. But I would say, as far as truly getting me out there and having the confidence to get out there, it was Matt and JoJo and Steve Conroy.
Bro, it's funny that you say that because that's exactly who got me into it. And then you were also on my list. It was the Sonoma Strong guys, Matt and Jojo Vic. Same thing, Steve Conroy. But you were one of the instrumental guys that I would always follow, and I always liked your. You broke down everything. You literally, if you check this guy's YouTube channel, he shows you from A to Z, from starting a company to selling the company, and all the things that most people forget to talk about, all the little details. And it was just I literally binge watched your YouTube channel. It was over that first 6 months when I was still deciding if this industry was for me or not. And after watching you and then actually watching you sell your company, and it seemed like you were very happy with what you got out of it. And now you're still dabbling in the industry with now making this autopilot software, which we're about to get into as well. But
Yep.
another question I had for you.
I appreciate that, man. Real quick, like Matt and JoJo's great. We put a little creamer to my love. Matt and JoJo has an amazing channel. Like they show you the real world stuff, like getting on the truck, doing like I wanted to be different and separate myself and show the technical side of things, the back end, because not many people were doing that. Most people are showing the kind of like on the truck experience. So I wanted to separate myself and show like, yo, here's SEO, here's Google Ads, here's this, here the more technical shit, because that's what I do, technical stuff.
We got a comment from Mr. Peanut. He says, I think your tax experience is one of the most valuable assets you can provide to those trying to start their own businesses. So I really encourage you, brother, to get on your channel and kind of, dive into it and,
Yeah.
kind of teach everybody. So, maybe there's some new young entrepreneurs coming out there, a real young age, and they might be going through the same thing you were. And maybe you could help, shed some light and things for them not to do and fall into the same thing that you did.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I haven't talked about taxes on my channel yet because I haven't talked about my past or my story or my tax experience yet. But like I'm going to soon, and this may be the gateway or the door that opens it because I know everything. Not trying to brag, but I know all of the differences between LLC, S corp, C corps, and I even know how to like legally make tax free. Like from we all know tax free accounts like IRAs and SEP IRAs, and it goes so deep. It goes so fucking deep, and most people think starting an LLC is the right thing to do or an S corp, when in reality that's the wrong thing to do. And I don't talk about it because technically C corps are the way you should go because of the 21% corporate tax versus your 38%. But there's things you have to do. Most people like start an LLC and elect as an S corp because that's just what everybody tells you to do. Start an LLC, elect as an S corp because you save money on self-employment tax, 15.3%, blah, 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 blah. It goes so much deeper than that, but I'm not a tax professional. And but Mr. Peanut, I'm gonna start talking about taxes on my channel soon, of like, how to really crush taxes and save money and do it the legal way. And also, how much trouble can you get in if you fuck up? I know. So, but yeah, Mr. Peanut, thank you for the comment.
And here's a simple question here is what truck do you recommend for, somebody new getting into the junk industry? Because I know there's a lot of, controversy. Some people say you should start with a dump trailer. Some saying go right to the dump truck. I really want to get your opinion on that.
So I get this question all the time. Um, the short answer is start with the dump trailer, right? Truck and dump trailer or trailer. Literally start with the bare minimum because I'm scared that most people might get out of it. Now, if you're committed and you know you're going to do this and you have the money, There's nothing wrong with getting a dump truck because a dump truck saves time. It's in the long run, it saves money. You can do more jobs. You're faster. You're more efficient. Your employees are happier because they don't have to unload. So there's so many benefits to a dump truck, but I don't recommend a dump truck unless you have the money, the credit to finance it, and you know you're committed, pot committed, like in poker, committed, right? Pot committed, like you're all in. So for most the 99%, I would always recommend a truck and a trailer. And if you're completely broke, job stack as many jobs as you can get and just go rent a U-Haul or a Penske or a Home Depot truck.
Yeah. So I just got my truck, man. I was doing my investigations and kind of figuring out where would be the best way for me to start. And I just wanted to come right in the proper way. I'm looking at Sonoma Strong, I'm looking at Jedi Junk, I'm looking at 1-800 Junk. And I was like, I just want to follow their business model. I kind of want to set up the same way. So I went and got my NPR custom dump truck from Monarch Trucks over in San Jose. I talked with Bob Padilla over there. He hooked it up and all, and I'm actually picking it up in the next week or two, and I'm going to get it wrapped and get my logo put on it. But yeah, I just wanted to come out with that professional look. I wanted everybody to be in uniforms, and I want to be able to charge exactly what 1-800 Junk is charging, and not undercut anything. So that was the reason why I went with that. And then the other reason is, in North Cal, you got a lot of these roads where, they're tiny kind of roads, and trying to maneuver a dump trailer and all. I think that would be some issues. There are some spots you wouldn't be able to get. And then another thing, if I wanted to go work the city in San Francisco, I just thought that the dump truck would probably be the easiest to maneuver around and all. So that's kind of why I went with that route.
Yeah, especially out there. So like I said, if you're committed, you're going to have employees, you're going to make this an actual business, and you're all in, and you've got the money and the credit, it's the best decision from the get-go. If you're going all in, because a dump trailer and a truck is, you got to train employees. Somebody's gonna fuck up, right? They're gonna jackknife your shit. It's really hard to get in smaller, tighter places, especially in LA. Very difficult. Are you starting this business? Are you on the truck? Or are you hiring employees from the get-go?
So I'm going to start on the truck and just learn the business from the beginning. I'm one of those guys. I like to be hands-on. Right. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I get into so many businesses. I got, 4 of them as we speak and all. So I was kind of bored, bro. I had nothing else to do. It was crazy how it all started. God bless her. My grandmother passed away 6 months ago. And I flew into New York and helped, the family clean out the house. And as we're doing it, I'm just like, why don't we call up somebody and help get some help in all this? And my mother's like, yeah, I made a few phone calls. They wanted thousands of dollars to come and get rid of junk. And she's like, this is something that we could do and, save the money on that. So when she said that, it just, as I'm cleaning the house, it's going through my head. I'm like, this is pretty damn easy. And I'm like, thousands of dollars, I got to go look into this. So, next thing I start hitting up my partner, and I have an antique and collectible business in New York. And I do remember that he was sharing a space, with our storefront with a junk removal business. And that's where we would get a lot of our stuff that we would be selling in there. So I hit him up and I'm like, yo, how is that business? He goes, bro, my boy is killing it, man. He is just, we got to eventually go that route. So I'm like, what do you mean killing it and all? And he's like, bro, I'm talking thousands of dollars a day. And he's got all these big contracts, commercial contracts. So now my head's really, me being an entrepreneur, I go back to my California place and I start going on YouTube one night and I come across your channel. I come across Sonoma Strong and I start looking at all the videos and I'm tallying up the money and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, there's some serious money, especially in California. You could charge the most in the whole country for a truckload and all. So now I'm like, oh, this is a new business I got to get running. I have nothing else to do. My other businesses run themselves and all that. I've been, dabbling into arm wrestling, throwing events and all, but I still had a lot of time on my hands. So I'm like, you know what? This is something I want to try doing. And I wanted to go and try doing as a franchise eventually. I want to challenge challenge myself. And, you know, I live in also New York and Florida. And I'm like, if this goes successful in California, I'm going to go open one in New York, and I'm going to go into Florida and start franchising and all. So that's how my whole journey started. And, you know, it was, you know, like I said, you guys inspired me. And, you know, I never would have thought it would be so much money and lucrative in this. And then watching your channel, it was like, you were setting up from the beginning to get off the truck right away. I think you even got off earlier than you probably should have. You know, I think it was like only like 6 months in, and you were like, all right, I'm hiring employees, I'm buying other trucks and all that. So I was that inspired me, bro. It was just like, you know, that was it. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna try this out and get into it. So
I was off in 3 months, but I had to go run and help him because I put one person on the truck. So every time he had a complicated job or he needed somebody, so I was running out to help him. You know, I'd sit at home working on the website, doing the SEO, doing the Google ads, taking the phone calls. And then he'd call me, like, and he's out by himself, like 2-3 jobs a day. Andrew, I need you to run down here real quick. I can't do this without you. So I'd run down there. And then it was about 6 months I was completely off. So, you know, 3 months I got my first employee, and I was able to go home, like stay home and work on shit until he called me, which technically was about every day. I had to run out there for at least one of the jobs. You know, most jobs can be done by yourself, but forget about it. Paul, there's one issue that you're probably going to run into with junk removal is it's kind of heavy stuff, and I don't know if you're strong enough to handle it.
I gotta say this. This is the other thing. This is another reason why this was a great idea for me. So everybody in the arm wrestling world knows I'm a very successful entrepreneur. They know I'm involved in all different businesses, and everybody would always come to me and they're like, "Yo, can you get me a job?" And all the businesses I had, you know, I have a marijuana business, cultivation, and unless you've been in marijuana for, you know, 10 plus years growing, I have no job for you with that. With my antiques and collectibles business, my boy's been with me from day one, 10 years ago, and he kind of is, you know, the power behind all that. He knows that business and that. So there was never anything I could give these guys a job with. Now, as far as arm wrestlers, these guys want to be lifting heavy things. They want to be making money. This is the perfect job. So I seen another opportunity. And now in every state, I have a huge following of arm wrestlers that follow me and all. So I'm like, bingo, if this works out, I could put all these guys to work, help everybody out. It's a win-win situation all around.
You might have something you could pass, like, to when people are like, hey, do you have anything for me? You can send them.
Bro, I got to say this. I haven't even started running it in California yet. All my homies that know me, they know anything I get involved with is gold. So my guy in New York is like, bro, I'm ready to start. Forget about it in New York right now. Florida, my boy over there. Now, these are guys I grew up with. I went to high school with and all. They just know anything I touch that, you know, most probably it's going to be successful. So they've already told me, yo, I'll be your general manager. I'll do the day-to-day. So practically, you know, once I get my bearings and, you know, 6 months on the truck and I kind of figure out this business and the formula, I mean, we're going to start opening them up in New York and Florida. And, you know, I think it's going to be something that fits for everybody.
Do you have the Midas touch as well?
Yes, that's exactly. That's what my girlfriend's mother always says, that he's got the Midas touch. Anything he touches goes to gold.
I've got a couple of my friends who always say that, my close friends, they say it used to be the Midas touch, but lately my friends say I always catch fireflies in a bottle now, type thing. Like, or whatever the saying is, like Andrew, lightning in a bottle, not fireflies, lightning. I capture lightning in a bottle because, most, you know, I have a fuckload of failures. Like I have a whole bunch, a graveyard of failures, but when I put my mind to it, like most people probably, you know, I capture lightning in a bottle. But what's funny is, there's one psychopath out there who has no graveyard of failures. You know, you probably heard every entrepreneur, you learn from your failures, right? Did you know there's one entrepreneur out there, the first company he started was $1 billion company? No failures. Now, probably failures along the way, but most people have started at least 10, 20 different companies before they got one company that actually fucking hit off, right? Like, do you want to know who that psychopath is?
Who's that?
Jeff Bezos.
Oh, okay. Wow.
First company he started, $1 trillion company, right? Wow. Isn't that this was so? Most people have a graveyard of failures except for one psychopath, Jeff Bezos.
You know what it is, bro, is we have that hustling bug, man. And if you got that hustling bug, and what I always say is you find your passion. And then once you find your passion, figure out how to make that into money, because it's never like you're actually working a day of your life. You enjoy what you do. So every waking moment, you're, putting time into that. And that's what I've always did. I've always been like, find things that I'm into. Like, I begun with the fitness industry. I loved working out and all. I became a very successful fitness model. Next thing, I'm going to be on a reality show, and things just started taking off because people feel the passion. They feel the energy. They just love it. I'm never going to stop. I'm just going to keep going at it and all. And, that's what I like to do. And with the junk industry, I'm looking at it as like a challenge. I want to do something different. I want to do something that, challenges me. And can I open it up in multiple states and run a successful business in multiple locations and not always be there and all? And that's kind of like the goal I set for this, just something, because to be honest, man, I don't have to work anymore. I got my business set up. People are saying like, yo, why are you doing this? Why are you jumping on a truck and going to start carrying trash around and all? And I'm like, I can't sit around. I go out of my mind if I'm just sitting around, and, I gotta be doing something. So this is something that I really want to get into.
Yeah. So for some people, the art is the art itself, right? So when you say, everybody says this, find your passion, you'll never work your day in your life. There's two types of people I've realized. There's the artists. Well, actually, everybody's an artist, but there's a difference. Most people, they find their art in the thing they enjoy, which is they're an artist. They're a singer, they're a songwriter, they're a dancer, maybe they like helping people not die, so they become a fucking nurse, right? They like helping people. Some people's art is business, right? So it doesn't matter. So when what you're doing is what I like to do. It doesn't matter what fucking business. The art itself is like, you're not an artist or a singer or a songwriter. Your art is the growing and building the nothing to something, the intangible to tangible. And that's what I've realized. When I used to think I was a tech guy, which I am, but I've realized my art and my passion is I'm not a creative. I can't fucking draw anything. I could not draw a stick figure. I fucking hate drawing. I hate painting. I hate anything creative. I don't like it. My creativeness and my passion is taking the intangible, the invisible, and making it visible. Business. So I've always realized there's two types of artists. There's the artists who actually, there's a specific art that they do. And then there's the artists who their art is building the invisible to the visible, the business, which is, I've heard somebody call it like, it's a spiritual thing too, like taking the invisible, an idea here, and bringing it to reality. And, I realize that's what, I don't care if it's a trash business, a software, it could be building anything.
Yeah, I agree. And I want to shout out, we got Sonoma Strong in the chat right now. What's up,
Sonoma
Matt?
Strong, what's up, Matt and JoJo?
Hell yeah.